Hello, I'm your host, Chaz Bell, Senior, and I want to welcome everybody to the fourth episode of What the Bell Sports Talk. Um, First off, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, Monday came too fast. I think we all probably can agree on that. Weekends ain't never long enough. But one good thing about the weekends, we got a lot of good sports to watch. So, hey, if we don't have nothing else, we got that. Thankful for that. Hey, this was a real wild weekend for people who love football. Um, and not just speaking on the NFL today, I want to start this show off today by some interesting college football games that took place. And really, I just want to touch on a few key games for some teams in college football who are undefeated and took a loss this weekend for the first time. And I'm going to touch last on the base of a team who I feel should not be undefeated and should have lost. But again, it was a wonderful weekend of football. And the first game I want to put headlight on, is the Georgia Bulldogs against Alabama. If you seen my show last, my third episode, I mentioned that um, Georgia had a bye and that they come back against Alabama, two SEC juggernauts. And I said it was going to be a hell of a game. And it most definitely was. I'm pretty sure people heard about this young guy that got a wide receiver, number 4. The guy's 17 years old. He was out there killing them. Um, he's definitely gonna be one of those guys that you continue to hear about, that you continue to watch, and he definitely will be in the league one day. But Georgia, they were ranked number 2, behind Texas, number 1. Alabama was number 4. They took an L. They lost 41-34. Those are two teams that coming out of AFC, coming out of the SEC. Um, you won't play each other in a championship game. Somebody really liable to take your head off. But hey, Georgia went down, and it's surprising as it may seem. I was surprised because I remember watching Georgia's second game, I believe. Forgot who they played. It could have been the first game. It was a few weeks ago. I watched a lot of football, so it was a few weeks ago. And I thought they had the most dominant, most powerful offensive line because that quarterback was just sitting back there, taking his time back there. He could have made a sandwich and just sat there and ate, then threw a pass. They literally was giving him so much time. So I just, one thing I always say, if an accurate quarterback or a quarterback who has control of a game, if you let him sit back there with over 5 to 7 seconds, 10, 11, man, he's going to find somebody. A tight end's going to be open. One of his receivers is going to be open. He's going to light you up. But as weeks progress, teams start to show difference. And Georgia not looking as tough as they were. Definitely ain't gonna count them out. They're only 3-1. Um, um, they still tough, but I felt like they were going to be that team that someone will play in a championship, and it's a possibility. But again, things change. So again, Alabama ranked number 4 beat ranked number 2 Georgia this weekend, 41-34. Another game that was very interesting. Ole Miss, excuse me, undefeated, played the team across the creek, what we call it here in Cincinnati, across the river. They played the Kentucky Wildcats. They guys up in Lexington. Kentucky, man, that was another SEC game. Wildcats, they played tough. They played to the end. Um, they gave them boys that first loss. So Ole Miss a little salty, but hey, it's football. You ain't gonna win every single game. So that was that. Another game. Illinois fighting Alumni. They took a loss to Penn State. Penn State's in the Big Ten. Shit. excuse me, Illinois is in the Big Ten. So, Big Ten ball is always, that's my favorite college conference because my Ohio State Buckeyes is in that conference. And we are undefeated, by the way. And we took care of our business against Michigan State 38-7. So, yeah, we took them down. But shout out to Ohio State Buckeyes for life. But Kentucky Wildcats took Ole Miss down. Ole Miss was undefeated. Not anymore. So that's a wrap on them. Illinois went down. They were 5-0. It's a wrap now. So they took that loss. Another team that took a loss, first loss, was Utah. Y'all probably saying, who cares about Utah? Who are Utah? But let me tell you, Utah ranked number 10. And for people who don't know about college football, far as the playoffs, forever, it's always been just 4 teams that make it to the playoffs. 2 of those teams definitely going to be in the championship. Not anymore. Somebody got smart somewhere. Now it's going to be 12 teams playing in the college football playoffs. Man, that's going to be so live, so much more interesting. It's going to be some teams that slide in there, man, that you probably didn't think should be there. But if they there, out of 12 teams, they should be there. And again, Utah's ranked number 10. So if the college playoffs went down right now, they will be there because it's 12 teams. Again, they lost to Arizona Wildcats 23-10. So they were 4-0. So they took that first loss now. So they 4-1. So that's another team that took a loss who was undefeated. Louisville was 3-0. They played Notre Dame this weekend. It was a tough fought game to the end, but Louisville just fell short. So now they 3-1. Last, Washington State, they were 4-0. And I find this interesting because they played this team with the blue field. Now, if you know college football, y'all know what team I'm talking about with the blue field. Boise State. Man, I guess they're trying to be unique because it's definitely unique. But if you ever watch their games, man, shout out to you for watching 4 quarters because just watching a blue football field, man, that does something to my eyes, man. I'm just not that one. But, hey, Boise put it on Washington State. Washington State was 4-0. They got in on 45-24. So shout out to Boise State, man. Get a green field. This is the last big point I'm gonna make on college football before we start talking about some NFL. I got a few other points, but excuse me. I started this show off and I said I want to talk about some undefeated teams who took a loss and no longer are undefeated. And I said it's one team out there who is undefeated and it should not be undefeated. Last Friday, Virginia Tech Hokies and the University of Miami Hurricanes, ACC conference. There's some tough teams in the ACC. It was a wonderful game, and man, I sat there and I'm watching this game. Virginia Tech had one last play, one opportunity to win this game. Quarterback drops back, quarterback scrambles, quarterback let the ball fly. That ball went to the end zone into number 9 for Virginia Tech's team. Fell right in his body. This man caught this ball and he's on the ground. You got to go watch the clip if you haven't seen it. If you didn't watch it live like I did, you have to go watch this clip. They played them. They took that game away from them. So Miami Hurricanes, even though y'all won, and I don't really have nothing bad against y'all, because y'all ain't the officials, but you guys lost that game. I'm letting you know that. Y'all lost that game. Virginia Tech came back. I don't know how that was not a touchdown. It's probably the most controversial college decision or outcome that's going on. After you watch this show, Google it. Virginia Tech, Miami, last play. And y'all tell me what y'all think. Go to YouTube, With the Bell. Like and subscribe. Leave your comment on there, man. I'm curious to what y'all see. Check it out for yourself. You don't got to listen to me. Check it out for yourself. Another quiet team, man. BYU, Brigham Young University. They quiet. They 5-0. They've been playing some good ball. And They in the Big Ten. Big Ten got some Baylor's in the Big Ten, Kansas State, some other teams. The Big Ten, excuse me, Big 12, Big 12. They playing some good ball right now. So don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. Lastly, man, Coach Prime, Colorado Buffs, University of Central Florida. They were undefeated. They were 3-0. The Buffs put it on them. The Buffs do enough to win. It'd be a lot of back and forth about how people feel about them. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's always going to be teams that people don't like. It's going to be coaches that people don't like. It's going to be players that people don't like. It's going to be some owners of organizations that you might not like. But what you cannot dislike or knock is a team who wins. However you win, a win is a win. It's going to be marked in history books forever. It will never change. So I shout out to the Colorado Buffaloes because, first of all, Deion Sanders, I've always admired him for when he was a player. When he played baseball here in Cincinnati. When he played football for the Falcons, for the Cowboys, for the Niners. Deion Sanders is a well-respected person in my eyes. I've always liked him. He's a positive, God-fearing dude. He coaches his sons. That's just, how does that happen? Shout out to LeBron and his son. How does that happen that you coaching your own sons and people use that against them as if y'all mad at them? For what reason? This man coaches football and his sons play college football. If I coach college football, my son is a college football athlete, I want you to come play with me too. What's wrong with that? So stop being so negative to Coach Prime. And if you don't like him, you don't have to like him. Okay? If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. But them boys are doing enough to win. They winning these games that to them are big. Some people, it was just North Dakota State, or it was just so and so. It don't just matter. They just won. So appreciate, man. Appreciation is more healthier than hate. You should try it, man. Hating is a disease. It can be cured. Appreciate, man. Don't hate. It's just fun. It's sports, man. It's sports. So lighten up a little bit. Get Coach Prime and them props, man. They doing their thing over there, Colorado. Keep it moving, man. So again, that was some college talk, man. I thought those were some interesting things I want to touch base on before I got into the NFL. So yeah, if you don't watch college football, that's on you. But man, again, it's much more exciting than the NFL. It's many more teams. Them young men out there fighting, and they're not millionaires. So really, they are playing this game for fun. A lot of them, believe it or not, everyone who plays football or college sports are not necessarily in it to be a professional and get millions for it. Some of them are just doing it because they like playing sports. A lot of those students, they want to major. They want to graduate with their degree so they can go to their profession if they want to be a doctor, or if they want to be a psychologist, or they want to engineering, or biological science, whatever your major is. It's a lot of people who want to fulfill that, and while they're in college, they're playing sports. So they're more passionate at when they playing them sports. They out there because they like it. They having fun. You know what I mean? These are young kids, man. They 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. 21-year-old kids. Now, when you get to the league, it's a business. People want that check. They want their money. Some people play for that money. Are they wrong for that? No, they're not. Because they put themselves in position to be able to negotiate and to play for money. Just like me or just like you. If you're in the NFL or the NBA, NHL, MLB, you want the highest amount of money you can get. Because you are on a team. But when it comes down to those contracts and negotiation, you in that office by yourself. You signing that contract by yourself. You got to take yourself to the bank. This is your business. So just speaking on that, when people are negotiating their contracts or they want to be paid and people turn a lip up or whatever and get mad, say, you being greedy. Just play football and shut up. Man, that's this man's job. Every year, I'm pretty sure, just like y'all, I look forward to a raise every year in my job. It's normality. If you're in a contract, when your contract is coming up or your contract is due, you want to negotiate. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a business. So when people want their money, pay them people their money. All right? All right. Y'all see, pay him his money. All right, man. Getting to the NFL, man. Who they? I'm gonna tell you this. Yesterday was more than a must-win game. All right, it was a you can't lose game. If we would have went 0-4 yesterday, when they say your back's against the wall or you got to dig yourself out this hole, man, that's a hell of a hole you got to come up out of. 0-4, we was 0-3, and we were like, we got to get it. But 0-4, that's just somewhere, man, you under the hole, all right? But our Bengals did good enough to get that win yesterday down in Carolina. I was excited for them. And I'm going to start my show off, I always like to start talking about them on a positive note first. Always a positive note. The Bengals won the toss and deferred. So they kicked the ball off, so they received it at the half. I rather had the ball first, but that's just me. Anyway, they deferred. Carolina got the ball first. First play or two, I'm like, dang. Looking at Andy Dalton like, he was looking sharp. I'm like, man, is this what this game is about to be? Is this what's about to happen? Listen, let me say something about Andy Dalton first, okay? Andy played with us for, I believe, 7 seasons, okay? And while we had Andy, I appreciated Andy. I thought he was an accurate quarterback. He had a big arm. He could get the ball down the field. I think what Andy lacks was being a leader. Vocal, physical. I think he lacked that. I never seen Andy really take control of the sideline. I never seen him on the field dapping people up. Hey, come on, we gonna get this drive. We getting it in the end zone. Some people ain't built like that. Okay, and he wasn't. But that still doesn't take away. Andy is the definition of a good quarterback. He's a definition of a good quarterback. He's not great, he's not elite, and he ain't garbage. A good quarterback can go out there and run an offense. A good quarterback can go out there and make accurate passes. A good quarterback is paying attention to the clock, making sure you don't get delayed gains. A good quarterback is seeing the defense and calling audibles and switching the plays up. A good quarterback is going to get his team in the end zone. And that's what Andy Dalton did for us as a Bengal. And I appreciated him when he was here. So I just wanted to shed that light on Andy Dalton just because we faced him yesterday. I don't take nothing away from the Red Rifle. I know when he left here, Andy went to a few teams. He went to Chicago. He went to New Orleans. He went to Dallas. And now he's in Carolina. So the man really just sit back collecting a check. Just like Flacco. Man, if I'm old school like them cats, I'm trying to get a check too. So as long as you can keep it moving, redhead, go for it, man. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing. Third play. Am I right? Is that third play? Excuse me. Andy got them boys down in the red zone. He got them down in the red zone. They were on a 2-yard line. And do y'all remember what Carolina did? Let me tell y'all what they did. They went for it on 4th and go. Man, that's a gutsy call. I know you're at home. You want to make a statement. But, coach, you're supposed to take the points. Our defense stood up and shut that down on 4th and goal. We shut it down. So they got no points on that first drive. So shout out to the Bengals defense on that first drive. All right? I'm only talking about that first drive. Y'all did that last week too, man. Good job on that. If y'all keep that defense up on the first drives the whole game, man, we wouldn't even be talking about 1-3. Really. Um, every week I've always speak on a defensive player or defensive players who just, man, rattle my cage, man. Just burn me up, excuse me. Burn me up. And I believe the first week it was Dax Hill. I was upset with him because he was missing tackles. He just wasn't performing on the level he should have. Last week, it was Sam Hubbard. Because I expect so much more out of Sam Hubbard. We as Bengal fans expect so much more out of Sam Hubbard. But he's not even the one I'm talking about. But I still got something to say about him too. In football, it's always a person that stands out, whether if it's offense or defense. Just for example, Henry, running back for the Ravens, big Henry. Everybody know who he is. He had 199 rushing yards yesterday against Buffalo. He had 199. Let's just say he had 200 rushing yards yesterday. So that means he stood out, right? It's very noticeable. He stood out. That's the type of standout notoriety that you would like. We have a defensive player who is standing out because of his neglect to be on point with his feet work, his eye coordination. Cam Taylor-Britt. What's going on with you, man? What's going on? Third play of the game. Third play. Andy Dalton dropped back. Threw a bomb on you. Third play of the game. Deep bomb. You know why? Because you're backpedaling too slow. Your feet work is too slow, and you letting a receiver full speed head up on you and get past you. Once a receiver has a step over you, that ball is in the air, man. What's going on, man? You can't get caught looking in the backfield like you're trying to play the run. When you have a receiver, your responsibility is to cover that receiver. That's your main number one goal. Where this man goes, I go. I know he's running. My eye coordination, where the ball at? Where my player at? Where my player at? If I see the run, then I'm coming up. But you can't get your feet caught up and going forward to the, like you go to stop a run when this receiver's going, man. You've been playing ball. You've been playing corner too long. You know this. You got burnt. And man, the same thing happened last week. We all seen it. I'm not picking on you, man. I didn't do this. These are facts, man. And then you know what else you did? And I don't even think a lot of people even paid this any attention. After that bomb, the very, very next play. I want y'all to go look it up if you don't believe me. The very next play, the receiver ran a 10 or 14, excuse me, he ran probably a 10, it was like 15 yard and out. Completion, boom. Very next play, you just gave up 15 more yards on the very next play. You got burnt again, dude. Now, I'm not here to pick on you, man. I like you. And if I had to take you out and substitute you, I would keep you in because I know what you're capable of. But what you're showing us is you're lacking, man. You're a professional. We expect you. You're supposed to. You're supposed to be shutting that down. You're supposed to be shutting that down. And lastly, this last play I'm gonna talk about, Taylor. Almost the fourth quarter. You got burnt in the end zone for a touchdown pass. It was almost the fourth quarter. You got burnt for a touchdown pass, man. You gave up a lot of yards and points yesterday. Okay, our defense already is not playing that good. So we need everybody in their positions to play their positions the best they can, man. And you're not playing your position the best you can. And on that second bomb, on that first bomb, we got this free safety back there named Stone. I mentioned him before. You're supposed to be backing that corner up. If that corner get beat, you a safety. You already back there. You getting burnt too. This is your second time getting burnt, Stone, and I have no idea why we do not put in Battle from Alabama. He's been on our team for a few years already. He played a little bit yesterday. I seen him out there. I'd rather see him back there because this Stone guy, we got him from Baltimore. Y'all DBs need to get together and have a conversation. Y'all need to watch film and see what's going on. Because our defensive line ain't getting no pressure. All right? For Lord, please bless Trey Hendrickson. Because listen. He is our best defensive player. Now, I haven't heard anything else, but he had a stinger. He had on he had his arm a sling. So I don't know if it's a shoulder or a wrist. It looked like it was his wrist, honestly. But I haven't read any more on him. But I know we play Sunday. Let this man have a few days off. We need him. He's the only one who tries every single play to stop the ball. Every play, his engine don't stop. He in overdrive. Sam Hubbard on the other side. I'm upset with you, man. You out there looking like a big defensive lineman, just ready to. You got your elbow guard on, looking like a strong dude, ready to just rip somebody apart, man. You doing the total opposite, man. I told you last week we need you, man. And man, and if we need you, this is the game we gonna really need you. I just told you Henry for the Ravens ran for 200 yards. Who do we play Sunday? The Ravens. Henry back there, big up top, big runner. We got to apply pressure. We got to get pushed, and we got to worry about Lamar Jackson running the ball. We are hurting on defense, man, up front and in the back. So I'm challenging all my Bengals starters, man. Step y'all game up. We already know Joe and the offense is going to put some points on the board. I don't care who we play. We're going to score. Hell, the Bengals, one game we had 33. One game we had 36, 35. The lowest we had was 10. That was week 1 against New England. We putting up points. So scoring is not a problem. Stopping teams from scoring. Andy and them put up 26 points on us yesterday. That shouldn't have happened. Defense, step it up, babe. Step it up. Everybody on all cylinders. Everybody do your job. Play as a unit as one. Do your job. And we can be successful. A big dude like Henry, you got to hit him way slow. He's stiff-arming people when he's running. We have a problem with tackling. We got to clean that up. We need to be doing tackle drills at practice this week. I don't care how old or veterans y'all are. We need to go back to hitting the dummy tackling. We need to. Or it's going to be a long game for our defense. Again, I got faith in y'all, man. So step up, man. Step it up. Step it up, man. We can do this. All right? So that's some Bengal talk, man. Offense, man. Chase Brown. Dude. I like a elusive runner like him. He quick, man. He got good cuts. I'm not knocking Mouse. You're a little bit bigger. But Chase Brown is that dude, man. They did a great job on substituting, sharing time between both of those boys running that ball. And they both ran pretty good. Chase Brown had 15 carries for 80 yards. Moss had 15 carries for 50 yards. So overall, they rushed over 100 yards. But the best thing about that, they each had 15 carries. That's a total of 30 runs. The Bengals ain't never ran the ball 30 times this year. And I'm one big on if you run the ball at least 20 times, your running back gets 100 yards, you are 90% likely to win that game. So if this is what we're going to be doing with our running backs, keep doing that, Zach, or whoever is calling our plays. Keep calling that many runs. You can run the ball 30 times. You can pass the ball 30 times. We got 4 quarters. So let's do it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who they, man? Who they? Like we always do, man. I'm going to get into, before we get out of here, I'm going to get into some NFL scores for some games that happened over the weekend, just in case you guys didn't hear about some scores or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and go over them for you right now. Tonight, Monday night, it's already on. I'm running behind tonight. It's like a little after 8, I think, but it's all good. Tennessee and the Dolphins are playing right now on ESPN. The next Monday night football game is the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Last week I told y'all it was 5 teams that were undefeated in the NFL. It was Kansas City, Buffalo, the Seahawks, Pittsburgh, and the Vikings. Now it's only 3 teams that's undefeated. 2 lost yesterday. Buffalo lost to Henry and them, ran 200 yards on them. They got smashed by Baltimore. So Buffalo lost, Pittsburgh lost. So now you just got those 3 teams: Seattle, Kansas City, and the Vikings. Seahawks are playing right now against Detroit. And to be honest with you, it's in Detroit. I think it's only be 2 undefeated teams when you wake up in the morning. I think Detroit will get that win at home and knock the Seahawks off of their undefeated streak. So we'll see how that play out. Cowboys over the Giants, 20-15. Saints over the Falcons over the Saints, 26-24. Bears over the Rams. Bears had a good game yesterday. Bears over the Rams, 24-18. Vikings keeping their streak going, 4-0. They beat the Packers by a field goal yesterday, 31-29. Good job. The Steelers at the Colts. The Colts knocked them off their win streak, won 27-14. I don't have no love for Pittsburgh. I'm not going to lie. I already said that before, only like Mike Tomlin. All right? Other than that, Pittsburgh can lose every game. That's just how it is. Next game was Broncos over the Jets, 10-9. That's a wild score, when you say. All right. We had the Buccaneers over the Eagles. I like Baker Mayfield, man. He's doing his thing down there. Over the Eagles. Come on, Jalen. 33-16. They got to put it on. Our game. Bengals over the Panthers. 34-24. Who they? Good job. When they get that first win, let's keep that ball rolling, baby. We got this. We got this. The Texans over the Jaguars. 24-20. Man, there's been some talk about the quarterback down there, man. Jacksonville's quarterback, man. I know his name, man. It's right on the tip of my tongue. They paid this man, I want to say $285 million or 265, 45, 35, something 230, something 200 and something 5 mil. And they like, man, did we make a mistake? Trevor Lawrence, you didn't make a mistake. Trevor's a good quarterback. He is. They lost a couple tight games. They not looking too good. Now, when I said that 0-4 team, they are 0-4. Actually, it's 2 teams that don't have a win in the NFL. That's Tennessee, who playing tonight, and Jacksonville. And man, we was hey, it's only 2 teams that don't have a win. And we were one of them teams yesterday. Thank God we out of there. But Jacksonville, man, I don't know what y'all need to do, man, but y'all got to get it together, man, because y'all ain't looking too good. Y'all in our conference, the AFC, so it don't matter to me, but I still would like to see y'all get it together. All right. Commanders over the Cardinals, 42-14. Man, the Commanders, they beat us real bad on Monday night. They keeping it moving, man. So salute to that young boy. He's still doing his thing. And lastly, not lastly, I got a couple more games. 49ers over the Patriots, 30-13. Raiders over the Browns, 20-16. Man, that was a tough game. I watched that one. Browns had a tough one last week. It was a similarity of last week. They had an opportunity with pretty much one play to capitalize. And Deshaun got sacked. They tried, man. I really think Cleveland got screwed, man. They called a holding on this nice pass Watson had through to forgot his receiver name. Number 2. I know who he is too. Amari Cooper. Man, it was beautiful, man. And it got called back for a hold, but it was one of them, you let that play out. It wasn't that deep. But anyway, man, Cleveland, if they kicker missed a field goal. If he didn't, they score was 20-16. It would have been 20-17. And while Deshaun was rushing down the field, they would have been able to kick a field goal and go into overtime. Kickers, y'all got to make these extra points, man. That's your job. So, shout out to them, the Raiders. Chiefs over the Chargers, 17-10. And, excuse me. One more. Excuse me. We all sneeze. Last game. It was the Ravens over the Bills. That was last night. We all seen about that. Derrick Henry had 200 yards, 24 carries. Man, we play them this week, Sunday coming up. We're at home, and say who they? We're gonna get that win. Again, I appreciate everybody who took the time out to listen to What the Bell Sports Talk. Like and subscribe on YouTube. I'm on Facebook too. Everybody have a wonderful night. Be safe. Thanks a lot. I'm out.